morning everybody. This is the first video of 2024 and I'd like to use this opportunity to wish everybody a prosperous 2024 and as in the line from the Terminator franchise of movies, there is no fate but what we make for ourselves. So I'm not wishing the world to give you a prosperous 2024. I'm wishing that you will be making 2024 your most prosperous year yet. The biggest news here from the farm is that we are now permanently on the farm. We have given up the rental place that we rented for the past 8 months. So we are camping in our camping trailer. We are now professional campers until the house is in such a state that we can move into the house. In this video we'll be finishing up the framing of the walls, which we first started in the previous video, as well as cladding of the walls. We're also covering putting up the ridge beam of the roof, which is the biggest obstacle we've faced in the build of the house thus far. This is a view of our camping setup. This is a 4x4 trailer with a rooftop tent, and this is where we will be staying until the house is in such a state that we can start moving in there. Here we have our bathroom, that's the toilet and the shower, all camping stuff. At the moment, as you can see, the shower is still just a hose pipe. We will be plumbing in a small gas geyser with a proper shower head, handheld shower head, shortly. But at the moment we're doing with just a hose pipe. And with the water tanks being about 150 meters from the house and the black plastic pipe running on the ground, we have hot water, solar powered hot water in our shower. We actually have to choose our shower time quite carefully. About 5:30 in the afternoon is when the water temperature is just right to have a nice hot shower without it being too hot. If you try and shower in the middle of the day, the water is so hot from lying in the pipe in the sun that you won't be able to shower on that. Getting back to the construction. Once we completed the last 2 sections of the wall, we put up the main supports for the ridge beam, that is running through the center of the house. This was followed by building the rear ends of the gables. We're not completing the front end of the gables until the ridge beam is up, and we'll build the front ends afterwards. Here we have the completed roof beam. It's running the full length of the house, and it'll be going up on the gables. The ridge beam posed a challenge. If we put up a single beam, normally people would put a laminated beam, a glue lam beam, in one piece. That would be a 9-meter long beam, which would be almost impossible to get to our building site and extremely heavy to put up. So what I've decided to do is to build my own ridge beam out of normal construction lumber and build it in sections so that I can assemble it in place. That allows me and Mienette to put up the ridge beam by ourselves without getting help and without using mechanical assistance like a lift or a tractor, which would also be firstly expensive to get on site, and secondly because of the slopey terrain, which would pose its own problems. So this, as I said, was the most challenging part of the build so far, at least, but we managed in the end. And here we have a couple of shots of what the ridge beam in place looks like. The cladding of the house is proceeding well. We've put up the gazebo inside the one room to have a bit of a place where we can sit in shade, because there's not a lot of shade on the homestead, and also to have a bit of wind protection. So as we continue the cladding, the protection will just get better and better. This afternoon we'll probably do the other gable ends, the other half of the gables, and continue with the cladding. Once the ridge beam was in place, we could complete the gables, the front ends of the gables. This was built in place. With the gables complete, it was back to cladding. We're cladding the outside of the house with 6mm OSB board, and over that we will put New Tech boards. That'll be the finish on the outside of the house. Here we have a shot of the house as it stands at the moment. The next step will be to cut the roof rafters and then stain them, because they will be visible, so we want them to be a little bit darker than the normal color that the wood comes, and then to start putting up the roof. Cutting and putting up of the rafters will be the subject of the next video. I hope that you will tune in. Please make sure to check back regularly, or subscribe to the channel to be notified of new videos. Thank you for watching.